today's tutorial, we are going to look at what a computer system is, and we're going to look at the various components that make up a computer system. So once again, I'm Sharif, your ICT teacher, and in today's tutorial, it is for someone who needs to learn the components of a computer system. So if it's your first time to join this live session, I urge you to subscribe and share with 10 people such that they can learn with us and we better ourselves with ITC skills. So like 10 minutes as we wait for our friends such that we begin our session when the number is at least high. So wherever you're from, you're free to comment from where you're watching from, and if possible, give a like to this video and share with 10 people. Today's tutorial, trust me, by the time we finish it, you're going to be able to know the various components of a computer system. So as I'm still waiting for the numbers to increase, you can share with your friends such that we begin our class for today. And today, like I've said, we are looking at basically the components of a computer system. So we shall know all the various terminologies, the terms that they use in describing these components. So I'm still waiting for you guys to join such that we begin our class for today. Okay. So I think I know some of you may be at your workplace, but still this video I'm going to make sure that I upload it online such that for those who have missed our live session, you will enjoy and learn more in this video. Okay, so let us begin by explaining or defining the term computer system. And when you look at this definition of a computer system, you're going to see that actually it is a common these are the common things that actually you have been working with, because with a computer system, it is usually a collection of hardware components. A computer system, like I've told you, for the basis of learning, you can get your pen and a book, because I'm going to be explaining these terminologies as I'm not going to be too fast. I'm going to be medium such that you are able to write down the definitions where need to be. Okay, so a computer system, it is simply a collection of hardware components, and hardware components, you can look at the input and the output. So when you're defining a computer system, it is basically a collection of hardware components and software components, and these work together to process data and perform a specific task. So that is our simple definition of a computer system. So whenever you're asked to define a computer system, you can just use those few lines of statements that a computer system, it is just a collection of computer hardware components and software components. They work together and to process data and perform a specific task. So that is our definition of a computer system. So having introduced to you now today topic of computer system, I well much know that right now we all know what a computer system is. So let me dive into and I explain now the components that make up a computer system. Mainly, there are only 3 components that make up a computer system. And the first components, we look at the hardware components. And the second component, you look at the software components. Then the third component, thereby you look at the users or the people. That is the peopleware or the users. So allow me to break down these components into various components, into different dimensions. So let us begin with the hardware components. With the hardware components, let me change this camera such that you are able to see the hardware components that I'm talking of, because you may be wondering, Sharif, what are these hardware components you are talking of? So these are the hardware components. Hardware components, we have both the input hardware, actually computer hardware, they are the physical parts you can touch. So I'm able to touch this. This is a computer hardware. So if you're able to touch it, then just know that is a computer what? Computer hardware. So these hardwares, they are tangible components. And everything that has physical presence, it's a computer hardware on a computer. So with the hardware components, they are divided into various distinctions. We have the input devices. And with the input devices, these are basically used to do what? To enter data into the computer. And one of the input devices here that I can show you, it is this keyboard. So a keyboard is an input what? Device. And I use this keyboard to enter data into the computer. So that is our number one example on the list of input devices. And this mouse also, it is an input device. So we have a keyboard, a mouse, we have a scanner, we have a microphone. Let me show you a microphone. This is our microphone. And this microphone is also an example of an input device. We also have webcam and a touch screen. Okay, let us continue. We are still looking at the hardware, because we have said hardware, it is classified into 2. We have the input devices, and we have said that input devices, they are used to enter data into the computer. And the example, we have seen the keyboard, we have looked at the mouse, we have seen the microphone, as you are able to see. Okay, so let us now go to the next part, that is the output devices. These output devices, for them, they're used to display or produce results from the computer. And the best example here, we have the monitor. A monitor is an example of an output device. If I try to change I move my camera, you're seeing a monitor. So this, it's an output device. So a monitor is an example of an output devices. But we don't have a monitor only. We have a printer, we have a speaker, we have a projector. Wow, I have the projector at my desk. So this is a projector, an output device. We have got also the headsets. Let me show you the headsets. Oh my God, the headsets are here. So the headsets, they're also an example of output devices. So on the list of hardware, we have seen that hardware, they are categorized into various devices, output devices. We also have the CPU. CPU, it is usually the central processing unit, and the CPU, it is said to be the brain of the computer. Reason being, with the CPU, it's where the computer processes all data and instructions. That is the CPU. And my CPU here, just because I haven't yet dismantled this systems unit, but my CPU is just located here. Okay, and the CPU has three main parts: arithmetic and logic unit, that is ALU, and this performs all mathematical and logical operations. We also have the control unit. This directs all other parts of a computer on what to do. We have the memory unit, or the primary storage, and the primary storage, for it holds and instructions while the CPU is working. And there they are trying to refer to RAM. RAM is our primary storage. So we also have the storage devices. Storage devices here, we look at two. We have two categories of storage devices. One, they store data permanently, and the others, they store data temporarily. So let me try to move closer this camera. As you're able to see, here we are talking of storage devices. We have mentioned of primary storage. Under primary storage, we have got this device. This is called RAM. And I believe for those who usually use computers, you have ever heard of these terminologies being said or mentioned somewhere. RAM, what is RAM? Yes, my brother, hi. You can comment from where you're watching from. It's a pleasure that you are online, and I don't take it for granted. I thank you for watching this tutorial and giving in your time. So we're still looking at the storage devices, and under storage devices, we have said we have RAM. RAM, it is basically a random access memory, and for this random access memory, for it holds data temporarily. And I am going to be making a couple of tutorials explaining the various categories of RAM that we do have. Then under devices, they categorize them into two. We said we have primary, the storage that hold data temporarily, and also have the secondary storage. And the secondary storage, they store data permanently. So that's where the hard drive comes in. And if you're to look at this systems unit, it is open. That your systems unit, it should look like this. No, it is usually covered to prevent dust from entering. So here I do have this is the hard disk. And usually when someone is critical enough, you're able to tell the capacity of your hard disk when you try to read the various instructions on it. So for this, they are telling me that is the storage capacity is 160 GB. And for the rest of the information, you can read, but that is what I wanted to communicate to you. Okay, so we're still looking at the components of a computer system. And under the component of this computer system, like we said, a collection of computer hardware components and software components. And so far, we have looked at the hardware components, whereby we have categorized these hardware components into input, output. We have looked at the storage. We have looked at the systems, the CPU. Then from there, let us go to the next element, because we said the components of a computer system, they're divided into three. We have the first one, we have the hardware, we have the software, and we have the what? We have the people, or the people where, or you, the users, you also categorize to be a component of a computer system. Well, I believe you are enjoying the lecture and you're understanding these things. And if you're understanding these things, don't forget to share and like the live such that it can reach a vast number of people. It's going to be my pleasure to see that this live reaches over like 10,000, 10 million people, such that they also get to know about this knowledge. Well, so let us go to the next component. The next component, it is software. And software, this is actually a set of programs and instructions. And software, it tells the hardware what to do and how to do it. Under software, we have got three types of software. We have the system software. And the system software, it runs and manages the hardware. Example here, we have the operating system, the utility programs, and device drivers. The second type of software, we have the application software. And usually the application software, it is the most common type of software that people use. Why am I saying it is the most common type of software that people use? Because as you're going to see that with the application software, these help users to perform specific tasks. And trust me, in most cases, we buy computers because we need to solve some given tasks. Yes, I'm right, according to this. And when you look at these application software, as they have said, that they're used by users to perform specific tasks. The best example, here we have Microsoft Word. I bet if you're a computer user, it's very hard not to use Microsoft Word. I don't know why, but you find yourself using it. So the best example of an application software, one we have seen, it is Microsoft Word, or that Microsoft Office suite, because it has got a variety of softwares within it. We have Microsoft Word, we have Excel, we have PowerPoint, and the rest. Then another example of application software, you can mention of Photoshop. For those who are lovers of photo editing, you have used this software when it comes to editing photos. And we also have browsers, because whenever you're going to use a computer, it is very hard for you not to use a browser. Reason why? You can ask yourself why. Because a browser, it is that type of software that has going to help me to display the research results that I may need to watch, or that I may need to do research on. So a browser, it is essential to a computer. And I don't know the type of browser you may be using, but commonly people use Google, they use Opera, and other types of computer browsers. And also an example of application software, we have the games. Yeah, so that is it for the application software. Then we also have the programming software. Here, the programmers come near. You can get a pen and a paper to write this somewhere. So with the programming software, these are used to create other softwares. And the best example here, I think, with the programmers, they can witness Python, they use Python. You can use Java, C++, and Visual Studio. And for my friends who would wish to learn programming, I also have that session for you. Check my YouTube channel. Under this category of programming, I've uploaded some tutorials on how to design websites step by step using WordPress. So yes, so far that is our second component when it comes to the components of a computer system. Like I've told you, there are three components of a computer system. The first one we said hardware components. The second one we have seen, it is the software components. And we have been in position to learn the various types of softwares that someone can use, of which we said you can use the application software, the programming software, and also you can use the system software. Those are the three main types of softwares. Then the last element, it is the people, where, or the users. The users, you are the ones who operate and manage the computer system. And without the people, hardware and software cannot function meaningfully. So the one who's watching me, you were key in this process of computer system. The one who is watching me, if you're able to listen to this video, I'm telling you this, you were key when it comes to components of a computer system. Because without you, the hardware, the software we have seen, they cannot run meaningfully without you. Because it's you two who is going to manage them, and you're the one who's going to input the instructions. So you are the boss. That is, it's non-debatable. You cannot debate on it. The people were all the users, you are the boss. So those are our three components of a computer system. And if you have learned something, why don't you give this video a like, share with 10 people, such that this video can be pushed to a vast number of people. And by so doing, you're going to help out your brother, your sister, to learn these various components of the computer system as you have done it. Thank you so much for following, and I promise to deliver to the best of my knowledge, to share with you everything that I know. And if it's your first time to watch, I am seeing the number is increasing, 8, 20, 12, 30. So if it's your first time to watch, please don't forget to subscribe and to hit the share button. I love you so much, but God loves you more than me. Let us meet in our second tutorial. Stay blessed.